12 with 290k armor with the fucking rail splitter. What's he doing?
I don't know. All of them had low armor. What it looked like.
No, Black Hack had high armor. He's running 2PC creature, high armor, 0 Fs.
We need a nice manhunt run in the DZ in order for me to make it.
Well, we had one. We had one yesterday, man. We could do it again.
I mean, but can you send that to me?
Vix had it on her Twitch.
Oh yeah, Vix put a Twitch clip.
Okay, I'll just record that from the screen then. Let's get to the top on our side, okay? Right here. Because there's no flanks from here. Right here.
Yo, get safeguard real quick.
I'm down.
Safeguard prop, putting on my high.
God.
Whoa! I'm dead.
We rushed like madmen.
I see you guys up there.
Two, I'm running back.
Oh, it's 3 down.
Oh my god, oh my.
Oh my god! They didn't expect that. They put the blue eyes they had to set up and we were just like denied.
Yeah.
So let's pull up to where we were at before.
I think it was just
forward.
my heals now. That was awesome though.
Oh my god, we held it.
As soon as I got safeguard, I was like, oh.
Don't get cocky. Let's go.
Alright, yeah, let's do this.
It's not cocky. It's just those guys
It's
were.
just satisfying, a relief.
They were just
Oh, it is.
cheesy, and then they got their cheese.
So it all depends on how we do it here. Are we gonna go around and try to get him up, or?
Okay, just go left.
As soon as they push, I'm gonna med get up. One down.
He's down, he's down.
Oh.
Go down and get pushing him. He's picking him up, currency.
Got him.
Nice.
Safeguard's prop too.
Behind us, two of them.
Back. Get to them behind. Oh, yeah. I'm using my medkit. Stay close. Medkit's up. Go. Down. Oh, behind us. Oh, thank you so much, friends. They're all coming up.
One. Oh, he's almost dead. He's almost down.
Oh, they're all flanking. They're coming up right now. Over on us.
Popping med kit.
Safeguard is prop. No medkit.
Focus bridge.
He's down. Oh my god, now he's down. Jesus.
Watch out.
He's down.
We got one down. Safeguard is up.
Got one pulse.
Come back.
I stuck him.
Oh.
Yo, I'm stuck. I don't know if that killed him, but I stuck
Watch our
him.
left flank.
Down. He's down.
Oh, baby.
Oh, he's in his fucking health. He dead?
Two shot him.
I got the boost.
Behind me. Oh my gosh.
This is something. We made a comeback.
Yeah.
I had to switch up, man. I'll switch to my close distance because I wasn't doing enough damage with it. They have hazard.
My girl's gonna be so excited about this shit.
I did.
I'm waiting to see where they're coming from. Oh!
Yo, I have to post this because I want to be the first one to expose this. I want us to be the first team.
Clutch.
Like same
No, not
fucking-
clutch. High armor. He has high armor.
Oh, he's running Sweet Dreams.
Yeah.
Oh, he saw your video, right? Just
Damn. I'm coming.
Oh, this is crazy for us because I got the oxidizer. Hold on.
Oh.
Get off cover, baby. Get off cover, baby.
Yeah, throw my hive down.
my hives down.
My BTS close.
BTSU prop.
He's about to dead.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah, the other guy, one of them's dead. The other one's almost
Dead.
dead.
Hey, behind.
Behind.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's two of them negotiators.
Good.
I'm dead.
We are.
Fuck, you die.
Yo, this oxidizer is crazy for this map. Like, that, you see that?
Yeah, especially if it's just a game of 2 camp.
I got it. You want to push this guy?
Yeah.
No,
let's
no,
get-
no, 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 no.
Yeah, why not? Come on.
Oh, okay.
They won't expect it.
I'm coming out.
Oxidize on it.
Fucking great. Yo, they're so mad right now.
But this is crazy.
Pick
yo.
up my hive.
Right, just deep in there, man.
Behind us. Straight up.
Mags.
RD1. Mags dead. RD1 is on me. Alright, everyone drop your fucking heals.
Carlos is gonna focus me.
Oh, this is down.
I'm about to go down. Oh no.
Not to go nowhere, homie. Came right here with us.
They on me. Body block. Good stuff.
Body block! Kick their ass!
Let's do it again. Hey YouTube, Be Righteous here from Identity. Man, do I have a special build for all of you. If you're a player that enjoys team play at the highest echelon of performance, then this build is for you. On this channel, I cover builds from DPS all the way to skill, and if this is your first time here on the channel, then please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. A couple of weeks back, I posted a build called the Urban Legend that some of you may be familiar with. In that build, I presented an invitation to the brand new clan I started called Identity. This had to be one of the best decisions I've made, because the people who joined have exceptional talent and are actually the reason I'm posting this build. Pagani, one of the first to join, his adaptation to playstyles makes him a multi-talented asset. Pat Duke, being an aggressive slayer with a keen sense of combat while on the battlefield, joined with his girl Vix, who's like an assassin. Her proprietary sneak and peek build makes it so that before you know it, you're dead. Pumpkinhead gives off a threatening aura with his straightforwardness both in combat and communication. Ripper is a player that raids almost every night and will most likely be a front runner when the new raid is released, one who yearns for PvP and has come to the right place for it. Jet Range and Armor Boot, the latest additions to the clan, are PvEers from what I've noticed and were responsible for gifting me essential pieces of gear I needed for a build I love. Most have had a say on how this build should be played and put together, but I have to say that Currency, a Division 1 veteran like me, here from the start and the co-leader of the clan, has aim and movement that is unmatched. He's the one who started the idea of a healer. Spawning out of overwhelming frustration of meta and cheese comes Reclaimer 2.0. In the midst of DPS and skill is an equalizer of builds, but you must know that it has to be played as a team for optimal performance. Solo play is definitely possible in PvE, but less effective in PvP. The purpose of this build is to create an area of denial for your opponent, which then provides autonomous healing for your team. Resurrecting a talent now classed as dead being utilized in this build helps tremendously on defense and once you decide to push. The healing this provides also gives you the mental reassurance of knowing you're protected. So focusing on the fight is your main goal. As you've seen in this gameplay, this build is exceptionally strong and can in fact shift the dynamics of the meta, because with this much sustain, there are so many more builds that are viable. I stated in my obliterating aim build that I would make an assault rifle version of that, but was hesitant due to it being so squishy, and I don't want to post a build that doesn't work. Now I can do that and make it work with this. I apologize for the long intro, but I felt it necessary for this build, so let's get into the description. Alright y'all, here's the build, and this is different from your normal setups when you make builds because it's team oriented. And with that, you're going to have 2 survivalists and 2 technicians. Every one of you is going to have a restorer hive, so there's 4 healers, but each one has their role. And the reason why you need 2 survivalists is because you're going to want 2 Mender Mines. I don't care what anybody says, but the Mender Mine has to be the best heal in the game as far as burst potential. So you want 2 of those because they're going to follow you around everywhere and heal everybody in the vicinity. But I'll get more into that and the details of how you play this as a team a little later on when I talk about the skills. But I'm showcasing the standard healer, and for this one you're going to need the survivalist specialization. Weapons are personal preference, but what I chose for my primary was the shield splinter, and this weapon you get from killing the hunters. You get it from that box and it takes 8 ivory keys to open, and you get the ivory keys from the hunters that you kill. So if you haven't done that yet, there are plenty of tutorials on YouTube on how to do that. It's pretty fun actually, and the shield splinter comes with Perfect Optimus, and I believe that this is the only way to get Perfect Optimus. And Optimus is very good talent. It's like the berserk of weapons. Whenever you lose ammo, you gain damage. With every 10% of ammo missing, you gain 5%, and the regular one is only 3%. So this is very good, and it has some of the highest fire rate on any weapon. 935 RPM, and that's with Allegro. So this is a great gun. You could also do some DPS options with it, but this is the weapon I chose to go with because of the 5 that it requires. And for the secondary, I went with the chatterbox just for when I get a kill, I get increased fire rate. The pistol talent is important, recharged, because you're going to be having your restore hives on the ground and your Mender Seeker mine. This is very important. Normally with the mods that I have in my restore hive, it's like 25 charges because of how it's set up, but this makes it so that it's 31, so it's really good. For the build, I got a Fenris mask for the assault rifle damage specifically, and I run spotter because the other 2 people on the team are going to have technician running the laser pointer attachment that spots enemies, so this just gives you extra damage. So spotter is essential for this build. Came with skill power, and I rolled 47% damage to elites. Now, after technician came out, you know, with that 50% extra skill power that you get on your builds just for running technician, it seems very easy to reach 3000 skill power, but when I was putting this together, I realized how hard it was to get to 3000 skill power when you're trying to incorporate so many different talents together. Being that I don't have any skill power in the chest piece, so I can be more tanky, which is the Gila by the way, I had to dig deep to get skill power. So keep that in mind when you're making this build. And the chest piece, like I said, is a Gila, and I rolled 15% weapon damage on it, 12% total armor and armor, and I'm sure many of you have better armor rolls than this, so you can make this tanky. The tankier the better. And I know you guys think that I know you think that unstoppable force is a talent that is useless. I thought so too, but the way that this synergizes with this build is awesome, because first of all, like I said, if you get your armor higher, then you're gonna do more damage. Getting the kill with this, I did the calculations, and it gives me about 17% weapon damage after a kill. Now, unstoppable force not only procs when you kill an enemy, but when you kill an enemy's skill. And when they say killing an enemy, they mean downing an enemy. So that's why I have unstoppable force. And also because there are not many talents that you can use with builds like this, because Berserk, it requires 7, Bloodsucker requires 11, Unbreakable requires 11, so it's really not that many talents that you can use when you have builds like this. So unstoppable force is your go-to talent to use. For the holster, I'm using an Alp Summit holster. Once again, one of the best holsters in the game. 795 skill power and devastating for more weapon damage. It gave me an offensive and a utility mod slot. Now, it's also essential for you to get to 3000 skill power without using your mod slots to reach that, specifically because you want to add extra outgoing healing to all of your mods. So whatever extra outgoing healing you have, put that in there so that you can assist your team and all of you can be feeding off each other's heals as best as you can. So in all of these mods, I have extra outgoing healing. Alright, for the backpack, it's an Alp Summit. I know none of you use Safeguard. Maybe a few of you, but Safeguard has been classed as a dead talent ever since they nerfed it, and that's been a while. I understand kind of why people say that, because it says that killing a target grants 150% bonus to repairing and healing skills for 5 seconds. And you think 5 seconds, that's it? Before, it used to be still 5 seconds, but the cooldown was like a lot less, so it was worth it to run that. But like Unstoppable Force, Safeguard procs with killing an enemy's skill as well. So when you get a kill, you get bonus damage and you get bonus healing for your team, because the bonus healing goes to your hive, which provides the autonomous healing for your team. I said in the intro that this talent is good on defense and when you decide to rush. So let's say a team rushes you, they throw their skills, push in, you destroy their skill, proc Safeguard, proc Unstoppable Force. For that 5 seconds, your whole team is untouchable. Then the first enemy who rushes in gets downed by the other player who has Safeguard, him proccing Safeguard and Unstoppable Force. It just stacks on top of each other, and that whole time, for that 5 seconds, your team is untouchable. It's crazy in action. The gameplay in the beginning, when 2 of our players died and it was just me and Currency left over, that was just 2 hives. So that just shows the effectiveness and strength in this build, that we were able to 2v4 with 2 hives. This is crazy strong, man. I can't stress this enough, but you have to play it as a team. So I have Safeguard on here and Hardened with weapon damage and skill power, which is a high skill power roll. I was lucky with that, and that's what you need to reach the 3000, since I don't have it on the chest piece. Of course, you're going to want to use the BTSU gloves with this build, because whenever you cast a status effect, everything that you have on the ground is going to be strengthened. Now, I have 8 yellows. I could get more, but this backpack, this mod slot, the reason why I don't have it, because it's an offensive mod slot, that's going to bring me above 4, which is the requirement for safeguard. So if I get a better backpack, I can add another yellow, making it 90% effective when I cause a status effect. But 2 out of the 4 people are going to be using these BTSU gloves, depending on the build that you run. The knee pads, Gila, for tankiness. I have 2 defensive mod slots, armor and empowered, to help me reach the 3000 threshold. Nothing special about that, straightforward. Now, the bread and butter of the build, the skills. Like I said in the beginning, the Mender Mine has to be the best heal out of all the heals. It just rolls around with that burst heal, brings everybody's health back in the vicinity. I have 2 90+ healing mods, which is great, and 1 skill haste mod. It has a really good cooldown, and especially if it's about to get destroyed, then you destroy it manually, so it could be like a 10-second cooldown. But the Mender Mine is what you need right here. The Restorer Hive, ever since they nerfed healing, I didn't think the Restorer Hive was that good. Now, when you're by yourself in PvP, this heals you a little bit. Each one of these heals you a little bit. So using it by yourself is a little bit difficult. I mean, it's good when you're using the Mender Mine because that helps, but it just doesn't do enough. With 2 people, it's very good in PvP, but with 1 person, you kind of stretching it, you know? So this is why all of us have the Restorer Hive, because these heals stack on top of each other. If you notice, the healing in PvE is like more than double than the PvP healing. So if you have 2 of these, it will be as if you have PvE stats in PvP. So this is why we have all 4 of them. And if you have your Restorer Hives next to Survivalist Restorer Hives and the Mender Mines, Disrupts will not affect it. It'll be immune just like the Reclaimer. So that's why you need 2 technicians or 1 technician and another wild card, so that you can provide immunity for the boxes so that they can be protected. Also, I almost forgot, this is an essential part of the build. I would have been pissed if I forgot, but the Survivalist medkits stack. So you know that the Survivalist medkit, when you use one, anybody who's in that vicinity gets the effect. The mods that I have are 240+ healing mods. Now 50% is the max, so if you get anything above 40, you're golden. I got this radius mod right on time. 93% radius. I mean, if you guys play Division 1, then you know how this feels to have that box give that huge radius for your whole team. That comfort knowing that you're good. The area of denial, making it so that enemies are scared to walk in there just because of the psychological aspect of the hill being on the ground. So if all of us have these mods, check this out. When we were strategizing about this, how we should do this, how we should run this, Pagani was one who brought it up. Now he said that we should do it in like a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram is when you position objects in a certain way so that it's beneficial for that whole area. So the way we position this is that it takes up almost, I don't even know how big this is, man. But this is all us. This is all us. And it just provides this passive healing the entire time. It's crazy, man. This is crazy. And that's why I say that it will shift the dynamics of the meta. Because if you can run this right, if you can figure out how to run this right and be successful with it as a team, then I don't really see many builds doing anything. Now, in those clips that you seen in the beginning of the match, we played 5 matches, 4 of them were full clans, and we have never played skirmish with that much ease. Never. All kind of builds ran at us. Berserk Clutch, the tank LMG builds with the pestilence, skill builds, all of that. And the way that we run this, you need 3 healers basically and a wild card. What I mean by a wild card is that person who either does DPS, CC, whatever is needed. So in those 4 matches that we were playing, I was the wild card. First match, I was the disruptor. Second match, I was a Firecrest. Third match, I was close distance. Fourth match, I forgot what it was. But I was so excited, I lost track. And that wild card is the one who provides most of the DPS or the CC. Like I said, whatever you need. This build may seem like it's very strong, but there is a counter to it, and I'm going to provide that counter in my next build video. It's what's going to help you penetrate the defenses of this build. But the reason I'm giving you the counter is because showing the counter of a build in fact provides a situation where cheese builds don't prevail. Because this isn't a cheese build, first of all, but when you provide the counter for a build, it boils down to the effectiveness of the way that you use it, and that determines who comes out victorious. So next week I'm gonna drop the build, and it's crazy. You're gonna see why, man. It's crazy. I used it one time in the gameplay, but you're gonna have to wait till next week in order to see what it is. But I just wanted to showcase this one because this is the main source of what you need to use in order to set up the build. So you need 3 healers, and depending on who's going to be the wild card depicts what they're going to use. They might use the hive, they might not. So 3 hives is also really strong, but 4 hives is ridiculously strong. So if you have, like, for example, if I have Firecrest in one of my builds, and usually I run Firecrest with Survivalist, but since I was the wild card, I switched it to Technician, and then I was able to use the hive. So I was using the hive at the same time while dealing massive damage with my chem launcher. And anybody who didn't have hazard protection had no chance. But when I used that build on one of the other matches in the beginning, they all had hazard protection and they had like 500k armor with pestilence. So I had to switch it up, use close distance. As soon as I did that, it was a wrap. So that's pretty much it for the build, y'all. I hope I got everything. This build has a lot of moving parts, and I wanted to let you know everything about it. When you see the video next week about the wild card that's probably the best to run in this build, then I'll explain some more to connect some dots to bring it full circle. But for this build, this is how you run it with the healer. I want to tell you something. This healer build allows more builds to be viable. So I know a lot of you have like some build ideas that you don't want to use because they might be too squishy, they might not be as effective in the damage department, whatever the case may be. This build, because of the sustain and the autonomous healing, allows you to put pretty much whatever build you want. It has to be good at least, but it allows you to put forward whatever build you want so you can be effective for the team. So this provides enough support in order for you to do that. Like I was telling you in the intro, my Obliterate AR build I'm definitely going to make now. I mean, it's ready. I just need to put it together. So I'm going to make that for y'all. I'm going to post that later also. And that's it for the build, man. I mean, let me know what you think about this build in the comments. And I want to tell you something. I do not post builds that don't work. There's just a certain way that you have to play it. And if you play it right, it's going to be effective. So that's all I got to say about this, man. Now, the full gameplay of these matches were epic. I mean, from start to finish. So if you want me to post them, let me know and I'll post them for you. Most likely I probably will because they're epic and I just want to show you how this build works just in general without any cuts. And by the way, that clan invite is still valid. It's still open. We're still accepting people in. So just apply to the clan on PC, identity with 2 eyes. And we'll play with you. If you're a good fit to the squad, then you could become part of the team. If you enjoyed this video, if it helped you out in any way, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. You know I appreciate all the support. Be right out.